Michigan Replay with Bo Schembechler is brought to you by AC Delco, Division of General Motors, Pontiac, the mark of great cars, and Michigan National Bank, home of Michigan Bank Americard. Welcome to Michigan Replay. I'm Larry Adderley. We have a table full of experts for this show, including Bo Schembechler, the Happy University of Michigan coach, and Keith Jackson of ABC Sports. And Keith, since you're the guest on this one, let me get your first opinion of the Michigan State game on Saturday. Oh, that exciting, huh?
I thought it was a typical game where the guys down in the trenches try to take everybody's head off before the first quarter is over, and I thought you could see a tail end of the second quarter where that young offensive line that Bo's got over there started to take a little bit of control of it, and it happened again in the second half. And poise, I thought, had a great deal to do with it, the final outcome.
Bo always deals with mistakes, though, when we talk about this, and he's complaining about mistakes they made yesterday, even with their victory. Penalties, fumbles. How many times have you lost the ball?
Well, we've turned the ball over 16 times in the first 5 games, which is really too many. But I think anytime you run an option attack, as Keith knows, he's seen a lot of football games around the country, and you pitch that ball around, unfortunately sometimes it's dropped. And it's just happened too often with us, and I think that got us in trouble more often than anything else, plus the fact that right at the start of the second half, when I thought we were going to get real good field position with the win, we dropped the punt.
But you're not complaining?
Not when you win, and a win against your alma mater.
Oh, we had to bring that up, folks. I kind of thought we could just smooth that right underneath the table. But we have highlights of the game, and some of the highlights in the beginning were fumbles, as each team put on a pretty good drive.
This is Michigan State with a formation to the sideline, and their very fine back, Levi Jackson, on a power sweep. They tried to work our sideline with that formation and did an excellent job early in the game. This is Wilson running a fake pitch and an off-tackle play and fumbled the ball, and fortunately we recovered. We come right back and on a pitch out to Gordy Bell, and we had a lot of room to run in this play. Hetty hung on to the football, but unfortunately we dropped it and lost it. One of our 3 fumbles.
Just changed those 2 fumbles, and State wound up with the ball and got this field goal.
Well, their kicker is a very fine kicker, and he got the 3 points, and Bobby Wood came back to match him for us, and she was a 3-3 ball game here in the second period. Here's another fumble, a great hit in there by our safety man, Hicks, that caused the fumble, and we recover again.
There's your option play.
Here's the option play the way it should be run from an end zone camera. And this is Gordy Bell, who finally runs out of room to run and is brought down by Hunt, their defensive halfback. But we do kick the long field goal here before the half with about 3 minutes left to give us a 6-3 lead.
Did you change anything at the halftime? Were you concerned at all, the closeness of the game or the fact that you weren't able to punch in a touchdown?
No, as a matter of fact, going in at halftime with a 3-point lead, we felt good. We felt that if we eliminated our mistakes, did a little better job blocking up front, that we'd move the football. Their linebackers were moving awful quick. And this is a very, very fine Michigan State defense, as you well know. And we felt still that we could move the football. And so coming out of the second half, we thought we'd win the game, but then the fumble gave them an opportunity to kick the tying field goal.
Were you trying to get Baggett to run more or throw more? Actually,
we worked a great deal against his scrambles. We tried to keep a position on him and not overcommit with our linemen. As you know, he had quite a bit of time back there, but we'd rather, to be honest with you, if we kept proximity with the ball, with our secondary people, we wanted him to throw the football rather than run. And so we didn't pressure him quite as much as maybe we could have, except later on in the game when we got into some blitzing type defenses where we went after him.
And yet people have had success against you throwing the football.
Well, that's true, but as you know, up until our ball game, Michigan State had not completed as a good many passes, so consequently we didn't want the scramble from Baggett, because I think he's a great scrambling quarterback.
And that's what happened on this particular play. As we look at the second half highlights, Baggett rolling out, looking to throw, and winds up with a pretty good game.
Right. Now we had a defense on here where we took a bad course to get to him because our end on that side dropped off, and our tackle got wide and everything. Our linebacker should have widened out just a little bit there. This is the tying field goal that made the score 6-6 in the third period.
This is a good drive by your team now and a fumble on the pitch out.
Right. This is Leach. Right here's the fumble. We got down in there close, and it's a ball that probably shouldn't have been pitched, and unfortunately, it really hurt.
Big play for Leach.
This is a great football play. We made a mistake and didn't get out on the cornerback, and he couldn't pitch the ball. And just through some real effort, got enough yardage for the first down. It was a very short yardage situation. And I believe this is the touchdown on the pitch to Bell on a power sweep. And he cuts back in here, and once he gets down to the strong safety here, he makes a great move to get in the end zone. This is a typical Bell move right here when he's
got to jump 2-3 yards sideways.
Right.
There.
And it was a great run, and of course that's the only touchdown of the day.
And a couple of times in the second half, you were able to open up the middle and get good gains like this one.
This is Lytle breaking up on a 33-yard run on a straight dive play, and our guards were doing a good job in there, and their linebackers were flowing quickly to stop the option, which they did a darn good job. The only thing I wish we'd have scored here, unfortunately we didn't, and we kicked the field goal to go ahead by 10 points.
So satisfying victory as far as you're concerned, because it keeps you unbeaten, keeps you in the Big Ten race, no question about that.
Well, we feel it's a satisfying victory because this is a game we had to win. We think with a young ball club that we're going to get better, and it's going to put us in real good position in the Big Ten.
Keith, are these games more fun to do, the Texas-Oklahomas, the Michigan States, those traditional rivalries?
Well, of course they are, because if you were there yesterday, 15, 20, 25 minutes before the game, there was as much electricity, as much fun, as much as excitement as you had once the football was put on the tee, really. It's the whole atmosphere of college football that makes it so attractive to me. I go out there, I still cry when they play the national anthem after that kind of a show.
I watched you and Bud Wilkinson, and Bud got awfully excited before the game. He said there's just nothing like this.
You come out, you come up for it. I don't think there's any question about it. You're
All right.
excited.
We have discussed Bo Schembechler's work from Saturday. We will discuss Keith Jackson's work from Saturday when we return in just a moment. Keith Jackson travels the country following college football for ABC, and Keith, that is quite a job, taking more work than people normally think it takes. I mean, you just can't show up on Saturday and sit down and do a game.
Lord, no. Well, we deal with 80 different people at least every week. To cover in pro football is like stealing money. You see the same people year after year and week after week. But we deal with 80, 90 different people every week.
How many people involved in the staff?
It varies, actually, from a regional telecast, which would cover a small area. You'd have a smaller crew. Our particular group, we run between 40 and 50 people every week.
And you had everybody out to work for that Saturday game at East Lansing.
And it takes a lot of work. Actually, the people go to work on Thursday morning early, and a lot of people work at it long hours. There's the crane, which we always like to have because it gives you an unusual visual. With a long glass on a quiet day, you can reach down on the field and get some pretty exciting coverage of it. And it takes more money to really set up for a telecast of this sort than most people think. Very often you're talking in terms of $20,000 and up in order to meet all of the demands of the equipment and the kind of things that you'd like to do. When you're working with a Goodyear blimp, of course, it's not so bad because on a quiet day, this particular machine can give you just one of the most exciting shots in television. Last year in the Sugar Bowl, it was so calm and so still, we were able to go down low enough, and with a long piece of glass, Mike Farmer, who was the pilot here, was the pilot a year ago, and Mike was able to go right down, and we actually used the camera out of the crane for some of the game coverage, and you see it absolutely over the field, and it's the kind of a shot, I'll bet you, that Bo and every coach in the world would like to have because you can see every move that was made. The technicians and the cameramen, of course, spend an awful lot of time getting their equipment ready, and each cameraman is responsible for the operation of his own camera. They're responsible to the engineering supervisor, and the technical director really doesn't become that involved until it starts working. And then in our particular group, it's John Allen, who comes from Granada Hills, California. John begins to take over. And then once everything is working, the conference with the producer, and of course it's been surveyed and all of that previous work has been done before, and then Chuck Howard and Andy Sedaris take over.
Take 5, Mike, you've got one in, right? Okay. Pull it back, Mike, let me see everything you have. All right. Take one little panorama there. Okay, Michigan will be sitting on the far side, Michigan State on the near side, on the press box side. All the cameras are looking fine. Take 6. Chroma key looks pretty good. Okay, take 5, Johnny, just for a sec, see how it's working. And try 6, let's see the handheld. Okay, Mike, just pan around. You'll be getting a lot of cheerleaders, coaches, things of that nature as usual. Take 5, Roger Goodman's on the field. We'll be isolating 2 cameras tomorrow and feeding 1 to either line or feeding a camera either to BTR1. We'll be feeding one of the cameras there to go with the ball since we only have 1 tape machine. Okay, tape 1, would you roll to record, please? You got it, tape? Will you give me an answer on that? Hello, Vic? Okay. Yes, they did. We have the blimp also. I can look at the blimp in a little while if we could.
Well, we have it, but...
Well, we're using the monitor for the blimp instead, I think. We have 26 monitors tomorrow. Okay, that should pretty well do it, guys. It's a wrap for the rehearsal. See you tomorrow early.
Now, that was on Friday, and the rehearsal took place at the same time the game was to be played, so that everything was settled.
You're
And
concerned
then-
about sunlight and things at
Absolutely,
that
and
time,
shadows and things like that. And then later in the afternoon on Friday, you have your production meeting where you set your formats. Here's Bill Fleming being fitted with his earpiece and checking out the lines and so forth. And this particular day, Bill did a cut-in for Wide World of Sports when the band was on the field prior to the teams coming out. Just sort of an 8 or 9 minute scene set. But this was on Saturday, and once the game gets going, then it's pretty much Chuck Howard, the producer, the responsibility of Wilkinson and I to use our eyes up above. That's Terry O'Neill, our statistician, and to my left there, that's Jerry Klein, who is the spotter. Now, while the ball game is going on, and many people are fascinated with this, while the ball game is going on, the producer can be talking to you all the time, keeping you abreast of the playbacks that are coming, the slow motion replays, or we might be going to be cutting away for this, or this commercial is coming, or who's keeping the wine cold, or what time the charter plane leaves, or what have you.
And you're trying to keep a flow of coordinated talk about the game.
But upstairs, we're on view, if you will. But behind the scenes, there's so many people making decisions on what players to isolate on. The people in the videotape truck must be concerned that we might have as many as 3 different videotape machines isolated at one time, ready for a slow motion replay. And then it's up to the producer to make the decision as to which one he should use. And sometimes we have a moment during commercials where we can confer, if you will, as to isolated shots. The Chiron is a new electronic whiz-bang that enables us to put the supers up a lot faster than we used to, and it's eliminated about 6 people screaming at each other down in the graphics room and made life a whole lot happier. But it's a hectic, aggravating sort of a thing that brings weird people like me and the guys that work with us a lot of pleasure, and we enjoy it very much.
You're doing kind of the same thing that Bo and his staff are doing, coordinating a game at this point, only with a lot more people and a lot more equipment.
There's an amazing similarity.
And
really
less
is.
time. They have less time together, I suppose.
Yes, that's right. We get together on Thursday night. The engineering people are in on Thursday morning. They come in Wednesday night at a remote location. I'm always there on Thursday night. The producer's always there Thursday. Director's always there Thursday.
Would you like to take a look at some of the replays and things during the game? Did you ever think about that? Maybe on a televised game, get a monitor at your bench?
Oh, sure, that'd be wonderful, but it's illegal.
Oh. Well,
You're not allowed to do that.
it seemed like a good idea at the time.
It's been done. As a matter of fact, it has been done, but there's a rule against it now.
A look back at the Michigan's football past coming up when we return in just a moment, and of course a look at the Big Ten standings and the way things have gone in the last few Saturdays. Big Ten, Bo, looks the same, I guess. Got Michigan and Ohio State.
Well, the
in
one
position.
that scares me the most is Northwestern, who's 2-0 in the league, and I wouldn't be surprised, Larry, if they, statistically, they may be the most prolific offensive team in the league right now.
What about Illinois, though? I know Northwestern is your next problem. We can talk about that, but Illinois is a pretty...
I think Illinois is healthy again. They've got Lonnie Perrin back, and they also have an excellent group of receivers. And Illinois has always had a really stout defense. So I look for Illinois to be a real problem as well.
And much was expected of Wisconsin when the season began. They kind of fell on their face a little bit, but yesterday, a late victory. Field goal, last 9 seconds.
They beat Purdue and Lafayette, and of course, Purdue has not won a game, which is really surprising. Wisconsin, I thought probably would win that game by a little greater score, but I think Northwestern and Illinois, Illinois is not a surprise, but I think they're a strong team, but Northwestern is, and I think that's going to be a great football game in Michigan Stadium this Saturday.
You neglected to mention the team just below you in the standings there. They won 49-0, I guess, yes, on Saturday.
Just below us.
Yes.
Well, let's just keep them there. They 49-0 over Iowa. Of course, Iowa is winless too, but nevertheless, there's some great power down there in Columbus, but we have to think in terms of improving each week, getting better, and taking these teams one at a time, see what happens in the last ball game.
All right, one at a time. Typical coach's comment. We
The
get
old
from Bo.
cliche.
The old cliches out.
Anytime you play a great offensive team, that's your best defense if you can control the ball yourself. And I think that's what we're going to try to do in this ball game. A little better ball control, a few less mistakes, and the same type of defense we've been playing all year.
And you'd kind of like quarterback Leach to throw the ball a little more effectively.
Well, I think we will. We have to have a little more passing than we're getting, and I think it's just a matter of our gaining the confidence in his ability to throw and our receivers to catch, and because our protection has been pretty good. It's just a matter of confidence, I think, and once we get that, I think our offense is going to be in real good shape.
Keith, does anything from this Michigan team impress you?
The youth impresses me because I'm of the opinion that a team that starts in the middle of September is not the same team that you play November 1. Because a freshman will grow up very fast. He gets up some morning, rubs his chin, and finds real whiskers there and goes out and takes somebody's head off. But I think a freshman, more than anything else, will swing a team, and I should
I think
say
you could
that
say that about sophomores as well,
Well, that's
Keith.
right,
There
and
are a lot of
looking at your
sophomores
front.
who didn't play as freshmen that
I'm very impressed by your team with the simple fact that you've got 4 sophomores up on your offensive front of using freshman tight ends against Michigan State yesterday and a freshman
Right.
quarterback. My goodness.
Well, I agree with you. If we continue to improve, that's been our goal so far, is winning a big game like Michigan State and then realizing we can play a lot better football than we played up there, just maturing and doing things a little bit better while keeping the same enthusiasm. We'll be a good football team the rest of the year.
We'll get you back next week and find out what happens. Keith, you're off to Arkansas, Texas. Thanks
Right.
again for being with
Pleasure.
us today.
Coach, best
Nice to see you again, Keith.
Thank you.
We hope you'll join us next week. Thank you.